Hi everyone, this is KIREI here for Bramble Fox with a new layout using the fabulous July Fox box. And I'm using the title highlights and some of the arrows. I'm also using Paper Snips number 76 and the travel elements set. So I've got the 49er Market Wherever collection. So I haven't got loads of it left, but I loved this globe patterned paper. And I thought I'd just cut around the edge of that to create more of an interesting shape rather than keeping it 12 by 12. And then I could add my photos to that. And as I have been doing more recently, I'm trying to add more photos to my layouts, really just to help to tell the story. But also, it just is allowing me to get more of my photos scrapped. So, this is really a continuation because I've just been away to the US and we visited three cities: Nashville, New Orleans, and Memphis. So my aim is to have like a sort of a title page, if you like, for each of the three cities. And then I'll do some other layouts that focus on some of the different events and, activities that we did while we were in each of the three cities. So this is my highlights of New Orleans. So I've pulled together just a selection of 8 different photos. I've mounted them on the darker navy patterned paper and just distress the edges. And I like the navy. I did pull out that sort of mustardy colour, but it just was it just too subtle against the background. And I like the navy. It just allowed my photo strips to pop a little bit more. So I've got those mounted, and then I'm just going to sit them together under each other. And then I've pulled out the paper snips. Now, these are fab, and these are number 76, and they do come with the Foxbox Plus subscription for July. And they were perfect because they're very travel relate focused. So they were absolutely perfect, and they work really, really nicely with the 49er Market Wherever collection. So I pretty much use the paper snips for my embellishments. I hardly add anything else, to be fair. So it just worked really, really well. So I'm just pulling out some of the sort of tags. I've got some of the icons there. I'm going to fussy cut the compass, some of the word and the phrases. And then I'm going to build up a few clusters around my photos. So firstly, I'll get them stuck down. And as I typically do, not always, but typically do, I just add foam strips to the top of the photo and then I keep them flat at the bottom, mainly because when I'm at the top of the photo and I'm embellishing, I'm probably tucking under more, whereas I'm at the bottom of my photo, I might be layering over the top. So keeping it flat at the bottom makes more sense. So yeah, but having the foam pads at the top then still allows me to get some dimension into my layout, which is what I love. And I do add it to all of my layouts, definitely sort of that dimension and texture. So got those stuck down, and then now I decided to actually distress the edges of these sort of tags and cards. I wouldn't always do that. I mean, I do like distressing, but because I'm layering though over a sort of multicolored patterned background, I just felt the distressed edges just added a little bit of differentiation. So that's why I'm doing that there. And you'll see what I'm doing as well. I'm just sort of curving, bending up the corners at the same time because, I'm not going to stick everything completely flat. So I'm building up a cluster on the top left. I'll have one at the bottom, along the bottom, and then it sort of goes round to that tag on the right there that says, "Not all who wander are lost." So yes, I'm just sort of figuring out where everything's going to go and what I'm happy with. I've got that flare. That's from my stash, Bramble Fox stash. So I added that in. It's just got the finger pointing, says "Look." I'm bringing in the arrows that come in the Fox box as well, in that sort of minty green, and then the olive green as well. I'm just sort of deciding if they're going to go there. They don't stay there, to be fair. I do move them. I add some of my fussy cut pieces. I do add them up, raise them up on foam pads. Right, so I've got all the ephemera stuck down, and I have added my title in gold. I don't know. I don't know if I should have used a different colour, but anyway, the gold. I do like the gold pop. It's fine. Sorry that I didn't show you me doing that, but actually, like this, my head was very much in the camera light, so I just cut that out. I mean, it is just me sticking some gold alphas down, but my title then becomes highlights of New Orleans. Okay, so then I've got the 4 arrows. So I decided I was going to keep the same colours together. So I've got the two in the green, the dusty green down the bottom. Now I've got these two here. Now you can't see it, but on the map it actually does have New Orleans marked, and that's why I've got the arrows there. But I couldn't quite decide, and they get moved off and on a lot. I'm just bringing some elements from my stash here, some little gold puffy hearts. These are quite old, to be completely honest. They're Jen Hadfield, I think. Yes, and so I'm just playing around, adding a couple of those because I'm just bringing in a bit more gold because I have added the gold in my title. I've got these teeny tiny little enamel dots, and I'm just popping a little cluster of 3 down on the bottom there, and I'll add a few over to the left and just to the top. And then I'm almost done. The arrows do get moved around again, and I couldn't decide, and actually I completely forgot, and I did stick them down, pointing down to where the New Orleans is on the map background, so they do go on. But yeah, here I am fiddling around with these tiny little enamel dots. Okay, I'll add my journaling over to the right here. Then I did, when I added my arrows at the top, I did actually pull out from the 49 and Market collection. There's sort of washi tape elements, and there's a plane, and I bring that in pointing towards the arrows, and that worked for me. So here you go. You can see those final elements there that I added, and my journaling. So here are some of the close-ups. The perspectives from the July Fox box. I've used the Paper Snips number 76, and then I added the little car from the travel elements set as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.